Okay, I'm realizing now that you don't realize that you nullified all agreements, contracts, everything that we've ever put together. You've nullified all of it because you misused the machines. I'm going to give you an analogy as to why and how this is the case. The analogy is if you go into a hardware store and you say, I want to cut tree branches down, and the person who works there walks you over to the aisle and says, here's a saw, a hand saw, and you say, no, I want to buy something with a motor on it. I want it to be powerful. I want a big, strong saw. So the salesman, he walks you down the far end of the aisle where he has the chainsaws, and he points to an expensive chainsaw, and he says, well, this is the best one we've got. And you pick up this saw, you look it over, you say to yourself, well, it's a high price tag, $900. That's a lot to pay for a chainsaw, but at that kind of money, it must be pretty good, must be strong. In fact, you might even say to yourself, this saw is so badass, it might even cut through steel. Whatever the case you may think about it, doesn't matter. You buy the saw, you take it home, you immediately fill it with fuel, and you go right across the street to your neighbor's chain link fence, and you just start hacking away at that chain link fence, just really sparks flying, noise crazy, everything just destroying the fence and destroying the saw that you're using. And it lasts a little while, seizes up. So you take it back to the hardware store and you say to them, I've only had this saw not even a full hour and it's already dead. It's already seized up engine, the blade's all melted, it's no good. It won't run anymore. I want my money back. The person at the store is going to say, yeah, but sir, you came in here and you said you wanted a saw that could cut tree branches. And you say, yeah, and I still wanted to be able to cut tree branches. Then he'll say, yeah, but it looks like this saw was used on steel or something harder than tree branches. And you go, yeah, it was used on my neighbor's chain link fence, that ugly fence. I didn't want to look at it anymore. Then the person working there says, yeah, but it's not designed for steel. It's designed for tree branches. And you're like, yeah, right. I wanted to cut tree branches. You're not recognizing that if you use a chainsaw on steel, it's going to seize up. It's not going to last. What you told him is you said, yeah, I used on 70 feet of chain link fence. I expected it to reach 100 feet of chain link fence. You're not recognizing that it was never intended for chain link fence at all. So the same thing applies with these machines. You asked for me to provide you machines that process powders, but you are filling the machine with all kinds of things that are not powders. Originally it was a sack, a plastic sack. After that it went to sandstones, and the sandstones steadily got larger and harder until eventually those sandstones became rocks. And you allowed hardened, rocked chunks of ingredient to go into a machine that's designed for powders. So you eliminated all of our contracts, all of our agreements, everything. Every single thing leading up to this was for powder processing. Nothing was for, you never once said semi-solid particulate. You never once said chunks. You never used the word stone or rock. You never said, I want you to process hardened materials. And because of that, I provided you a machine that processes powders. And the fact that you're misusing it, and you misused it so badly that it malfunctions in every way because it's not designed for anything other than powders. You let the solids go in the machine, not me. It was always your responsibility to only put powders into a machine that was designed for powders. So your criteria that you say that I didn't meet, well, the first two, volume and accuracy. And in both cases, if you're going to put rocks into a machine that is designed for powder, you're not going to get volume or accuracy. So you have no leg to stand on to say that it isn't meeting your criteria. You need to fill it with powder, and if you fill it with powder, it will meet your criteria. At least it would have originally, but now you've asked for changes. You asked me to change the gearboxes to accommodate for these chunks, which never belonged in the machine at all. And now we discovered that the chunks just keep getting harder, harder, and harder. When I first put on the gearboxes, we thought we could crush sandstones, but if they've gotten hard enough, they're not sandstones anymore. They're like driveway rocks now. They can't be crushed. It is ridiculous to think that you can just keep adding power until you can crush all of it down, because your customers don't want to buy rocks. So you are required to filter those things out, and you're not doing what's required. But it turns out you are the creator of the rocks. They're not selling the ingredient to you in rock form. It's becoming rock form because you are not climate control storaging your ingredients. So you're the creator of the rocks. You need to be the people who filter out the rocks. Don't let chunks go into the machines, and the machines will achieve volume and accuracy. So now that you've done that, now that you've allowed rocks to go in there to the point of breaking the machines, you have no leg to stand on with the rest of the contract. But, okay, let's go ahead and look at things like safety. Safety. You are trying to save money, and you're asking your people to reach under a bag that they don't have to reach under. The only purpose of reaching under that bag is so that you don't have to cut it. That's your choice. You can pick up the bag without a person ever going under it. You can move it over on top of the hopper without a person ever reaching under it, and you can slice the bag without a person ever reaching under it, and you know you can. You're trying to save the sacks. That's not on me. Safety-wise, no human needs to be under the sack ever at all. That's your choice. If you want to save the money on the sacks, you're going to have to build the support which holds the sack in place while someone reaches under it, not me. Lastly, the dust. Had you used the machines correctly, had you actually gotten the bag over the top that I made and dropped the bag onto it, open it underneath, you would never have dust. So you need to show me where dust is coming out of the machine. But for that to happen, you have to use the machine correctly. So when it comes to any of the things that you're complaining about, all of them are on you, with the exception of the one thing, which is once you're using the machine correctly, then we will go in there and see where dust might be escaping, and I will come up with ways to pull that last little bit of dust in. But otherwise, the machine was designed for minimal dust as it is when it's used properly. And since you are not using it properly, we cannot reach a point of sealing the last little spots of minimal dust coming out. So that's the 4 criteria that you named, and since the 2 big ones on that are volume and accuracy that you are causing not to function because you're allowing chunks to go in the machine, you correct the chunk problem and you will get your volume and accuracy. Otherwise, that's not on me. You have to climate control your ingredients. No more chunks. Filter your product as well.